Hello guys, welcome to the latest, welcome to another tier list video, should I say. So this is the second one I'm doing, and as you can see from the title, and you can see from the website, I've used it. I thought I'd big it up so people don't ask me exactly what it is, where it is you go to do this. This is the better website for it as well. So we've got, today we're going to be doing what we did before, but this time with EMUs instead of DMUs. So we did the DMU one, whether or not, with EMUs it was a little bit different because, well, with DMUs, sorry, it's a little bit different because there was only 29 trains to look at and look over when we did the DMUs. For the EMUs, there's 48 trains to look at and go over. So we're going to go through every single one that operates within the UK and is still in service today. And we're going to see if we can come to a decision on whether we think they are amazing, great, good, poor, or trash. And this is based on our opinions and our opinions only. And when I say R, I don't mean the R rates. I mean, the two people that are joining today. So joining me again is Albie, doing his promo again. Don't forget to subscribe because you've featured in the video. I'll let you do that. And also for the first time, one of my videos doing a voice guest is Roscoe Train 107. Hello, Ross.
Hello. Hello, John. What's up? You alright, John? How you doing, mate?
Is it up yet?
Yes. Do you want to be in it as well? Do you, JB?
No, I just want to know if it's.
Please.
Are you streaming yet?
We're streaming right now.
How can I not see it? Am I banned?
No.
Yeah. John, please be in the stream.
Just go on
On
YouTube.
YouTube,
Go
isn't
on YouTube and look. Go on YouTube and look it up.
Found. Thank you.
You're welcome, Johnny.
Oh dear.
There, he's gone. He's gone now.
Already, and we haven't even started yet.
Right. Okay. So that was Johnny making a guest appearance as always. So here we go. We're going to begin with so Ross and Albie and me are going to talk about the trains. What we think. We're hopefully going to come to a agreed decision. We may have to come back to some, but we will eventually have all of them in there to rate and put in the list. So, are you two ready?
Yes.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Of course you will, Albie. Are you ready, Ross?
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's begin. This is in random order this time, so we're not beginning from the numbers down. It's completely random order. So let's begin with the first train, and today's first train is the Class 350.
Ooh.
So I think the 350 is a very, very good train. I don't see major issues with it at all.
No, I can't see much issues with it at all. Myself.
My only quarrel.
A couple of times.
Yeah, my only quarrel with it was when they were with TransPennine Express because their overcrowding on them was terrible. Would you agree, Albie?
Whenever I was on them, it was always pretty empty.
Really? You're lucky. Go on. What do you think of the 350s then, Al?
Top tier, depot, easy, fantastic. All got German stuff in it.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very good. What do you think, Ross?
I like them actually. I really do. I just think the only deficiency for me is got to be especially if you're going to put them on a service like from like Euston to Liverpool Lime Street, is instead of like doing like you should have like one service doing, I know, one stop. Obviously they do probably sometimes stop at Watford Junction, but instead of doing that you should have one service to just go from Euston. First stop you do it probably, I don't know, Milton Keynes Central or Rugby, and
Yeah.
but then because otherwise it's just going to feel like, well, what's the point of putting it in? You might as well just jump on a 390.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, I personally think the 350 is a very good train. I don't have any issue with it. I think the seating maybe is a problem, but on like some variants or like 2+3 variants.
Oh, yeah.
But that's my only issue, and sometimes the routes that they put them on aren't always the best. I think they are. I think they're pretty amazing. Actually, I'd say they're amazing trains. I don't have an issue with them.
Top tier, straight to the top.
I think so as well. 350 straight to the top. Brilliant trains.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right, train number 2. We're going to talk about the 508.
Oh no.
Ooh.
So, I've only ever had very limited Merseyrail experience with the 508s. I have to admit they are very good-looking trains. They're fairly old. I think they spark a hell of a lot.
Especially undergrounds around like Liverpool Central or Birkenheads and Liverpool Lime Street Moorfields.
Yeah, I agree. I again, very good train. No major issue. They've always been pretty reliable. Albie, what do you think?
They're clapped. Sorry, but it's true.
They're what?
Clapped. They're beat.
You're
They're
right.
falling apart.
They're falling apart. I would agree with that. They are fairly sort of rickety old trains, and I'm not a massive fan of them.
Well, you got to remember they have been around since the 1980s. Remember,
Exactly. That's the
and they've
problem.
had probably more refurbishments probably than any other train that's been on the system in that time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the fact is, if you look, I mean, sometimes on the occasional times when they were on, what was it, Silverlink? God, don't. That was they were terrible back then. But then since they've moved them over to Merseyrail, it's like they just kind of took a train that looks a bit like, I might as well just send it off to the scrapyard, and they just kind of give it a nice lick of paint, even if they've repainted it from silver looking. Now it's that yellow style looking
Yeah,
livery.
yeah.
I think that's why they under nicknamed the Yellow Submarine. That's what they are, about the Yellow Submarine.
I think that's pretty fitting considering the Beatles are from Liverpool, so I think that's pretty fitting as well, to be honest. So I would say 508s. I don't say they're bad at all. I think they're good trains. I don't think they're great though.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Falling apart. Window alignment is terrible. They're horrible.
They're horrible, right?
But not
you're saying probably poor.
Yeah, and what about you, Ross? We have to go with a majority decision, so
I'm probably going to go for this one. Although they have a few weaknesses, however, considering Merseyrail have kept them very good nick, I think I'll go for good.
Okay.
On this one.
All right. Well, Albie loses on that majority, so we're putting the 508 in good.
Okay then.
Okay. Up next, then the next train we're going to talk about is the Pendolino Class 390.
I don't think we need any.
I think
when that goes.
I think they're straight up to amazing. Would you agree, Al?
Yeah, the UK ones leave a lot to be desired, but as a family, top tier.
Absolutely top tier. Fantastic trains.
Straight to the top.
To the top. I think we should talk about them a little bit, though. It's just not go straight to the top. I think they're fantastic for reasons being that they are built for purpose. Their seating is amazing. Very welcoming trains. Been looked after very well. They do smell a bit, but they looked after a bit. They've been looked after really, really well. Their livery suits them.
Yeah, it's like when after, what was it, that Grey-Wig accident, the one thing that came out of that, they were highly praised for their structural integrity.
Yeah.
Because if you put it to say, if you put a modern train as it was, they're probably, if it was ended up in that situation, I mean, the fact is they probably would just been falling as flat as like a pancake. With a 390, it's just like, look at me, I'm strong, I'm steel, and I'm indestructible.
Pretty much.
I know they had their nickname problems to begin with the hydraulic tilting system. Especially one case, I think, was on one service to Liverpool Lime Street where it ended up getting stuck on its side, which probably for the passengers would have been absolutely awful. It's like, what the heck's happening here?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I think we all agree they're up to the amazing tier.
Yeah.
No question.
Regardless if it was Virgin Trains or Fancy West Coast, I know it's probably somebody thinking, oh, the Virgin West Coast livery looks daft and rubbish.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it's just that wrong. I know it's not the best slipway. Let's concede that.
Yeah.
I think it's not the worst slipway.
No, I agree.
I
I
think
agree.
I think it's just as long as Avanti don't do anything stupid with them, then I think they'll still rank up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll stay.
So, shall we move on? The next train?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
train number 4 of 48 is, if I drag it, the 710, the Adventurer. Right, I think we should start with Albie on that one. What do you think of him, Albie?
They were a year late.
they are very, very disappointing, and the fact that they were delayed already says a lot about it.
Do you know why that was? It's not because they couldn't build them right. It's the stupid in-cap system that was not compatible. I mean, if you're going to design a train to be replacing something like a 172 or I don't know, like a 313 or a 378, design it with a mind that I'm going to put a traditional system in it, and then we can update it to something else later. But what Bombardier have done is they've gone and put a system in it. Yeah, that's great, but unfortunately, got it to the Goblin line. What was the first problem straight away? Not compatible.
Exactly.
It's like for example, it's like you put something, you try and upload something onto your computer, and the thing is just like, yes, I've got it uploaded, and then to find when you go and play it, it's like, sorry, you're not compatible here.
Exactly. Ross, your rants are brilliant. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I think they should be trash.
Yeah, I think the fact is, even if there's one thing I'll have to concede straight away, when they do take over the 315s on the Elite Valley lines, I cannot see them. I mean, short term, maybe long term, but short term, they've got a lot of work to do with them to get them to as good as the 315s are, and I can't really see that happening.
Absolutely. So trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah, trash.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Up next, number 5 is the 745s. Even. I think they go to the top straight away. Fantastic trains. Again, like the 755s.
I mean, the 745s, I know there's some people are going to complain about. It's like the first thing that came about was the look of them. I thought, like, with the black front ends, it's like the livery with the Swiss trains. It looked a bit similar. And then they put the yellow bit on it. I thought, Greater Anglia, what have you done? But the thing is, the reason why they've had to put them on it, if anybody doesn't want to know, if anybody wants to know, is the problem with level crossings. That's why they still, even though the government a few years ago introduced the idea that trains are no longer required to have yellow front ends, but the fact is we still have to sometimes put them on to stop people realizing if you've got a train, if you're at a level crossing, you should know there's a train coming, but then the problem is with some people they just don't distinguish what the train is because they're thinking, oh no, it's not a big deal. But that's why they've got to have the yellow front ends on. So even if the lights are powerful, they still got to have them on. It's the same
Absolutely.
with the same 755s.
Absolutely. Well, I think the 745, sorry, have pretty much come into service. I think they've gone down really, really well. I
know they had that little brief issue. What was that, Forest Gate, where it suddenly just ground to a halt and they couldn't get the passions off for about 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
And also they had their compatibility issues. But other than that, I think it's been probably well designed. The seating is a lot better. I think Greater Anglia, I know they're not the best company, but they made one good decision was not to go for those stupid plastic iron boards they would have gone for. They've went for the so what was it? Was it Fencer they would have gone for? Instead they went for the calcium.
Fencer, yeah.
So that's why
I think they should go to amazing. I do. Albie would happily agree with that, wouldn't you?
I know there's going to be
Top tier
listeners out there thinking we're missing our locos, class 90s, but the fact is, the 745s, I think they fitted in well. But
absolutely.
The question would be, is obviously when they go into Stansted Express, which is the next ones, which, and by the way, if anybody wants to know, is they don't have first class seating on Stansted Express 745s, by the way. There's no first class in 745.
They're not Stansted Express, remember. It's a sub-brand of Greater Anglia, so it's still technically Greater Anglia.
Yeah, but there's two types. So you've got the 745-0s doing on the Great Eastern, which has got first class.
Yeah.
The 745-1s, which at the moment
West Anglia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore they've got no first class. So I think that's good news.
Okay. Shall we move on now? Because we've got quite a lot of trains to go through. So number 6 out of 48 is the 319.
Oh, fuck.
Albie doesn't like them. Right. I actually disagree. But there you go. Let's go. Let's get Albie and Ross's opinion. So Albie, what do you think of them? Tell me like your thoughts on them and what you think's bad about them.
All dusty, topped out pieces that should be gone by now.
Yeah. Ross, what do you think of them?
The 319s. I mean, when I'm on Thamesy, they actually were not too bad. I just think they could have done a lot better with them. But since they've kind of moved most of them to Northern, they've sort of gradually gone a little bit downhill. However, that doesn't mean for me I'm going to say to them, oh, they're complete trash. I think I probably would put them to probably around halfway good or poor.
See,
like
my view on the 319 is they're probably one of the... They're not good trains, but they're not great trains. There's absolutely no question they're not great trains because they're very dirty, they're very old, they have problems. The motor is absolutely fantastic. Then motor noise is loud though. It's very loud when you sit in it, but
But that's what you want though. You want to hear the roar of the motor, not like sitting there inside.
Yeah, exactly. I'm half mind to say that they're good trains, but they're by no means great. But that's my view. So my verdict is good. Ross, what's your verdict? Good or poor?
I say for me, it's like I agree with you. It's not the best trains, but that doesn't mean there's some constellations about them. So I think you have to go good on that one.
And Albie, your verdict?
They're absolutely unacceptable for 2020. I mean, seriously, it's like we live in the Soviet Union, but we don't. So
trash. You get
3 non-aircon, rattly, bumpy junk.
Well, 319s with no aircon. I mean, yes, it's 1980s, but you got to expect that. I mean, what do you think they're gonna do? What do you think Northern gonna do with
not the 1980s now?
But this is the thing, right? I think the 319s aren't bad at all, and I think they should go in good.
Yeah.
But we've got a major decision because me and Ross agree over Albie, so it's 2-1, so it's good. 319's going good. Okay, next up, number 7 is... Oh, it's the 315.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Right.
I think go.
I think that they're... Like, look, I don't want to go against older trains, especially the Braille units. I think there are some very good Braille units, but there are also some very bad Braille units. And I'm sorry to say, but the 315 is, for some examples, I think they're actually pretty good. London Overgrounds are actually quite nice. TfL Rails, I don't think are that good.
So would you put it kind of like poor then?
I don't want to base it off company and just say they're poor. Overall, I think they're old. They're very old trains. The motor's very good. The overground ones look very unique, and the interior is quite sort of that old feel of interior. Sometimes you like that because some people like the older trains, and I particularly when I look at it, I think. When I look at it, I think 315s, that old feel of them, it sort of gives you that retro feel when you sit on them, and the rattling and all that. It's kind of more acceptable with the 315 than it is with the 319. So I don't think TfL Rails are very good, but it wins London Overgrounds win it over for me because of how. Sometimes when it's older trains, the dirt, the dust that builds up, all the rubbish on it, it's what you expect with an old train. And sometimes, like, if you were criticising trains that looked absolutely filthy, you might as well just say the HST and the Mark IIIs were terrible, but they're not. So, in my view, I think, purely because of how Overground look purely because of how London Overgrounds are, I personally would say they're great trains. But
Okay.
that's my view. Ross, what about you?
It's a difficult one for me because I mean I've been on. I mean I've kind of before I moved to Devon, I grew up with quite a lot of 315s. I mean back in the days of First Great Eastern. I mean when they were back then, they were okay, but not brilliant. But then you brought in One Railway. Who came up with the paint scheme for it? I don't know. You know the one with the green doors, the black and the or was it the blue, the navy blue with the black inside, and then with the rainbows at the end of each carriage.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, did the person who designed it? I mean, whoever designed it, did they go on Tequila to go and design that sort of thing? I don't know. But the thing is that, but however. I know the fact Greater Anglia, they didn't do a very good job of them when they repainted them. They just looked bland and boring. TFL kind of spruced it up a little bit, although that should have been done 10 years ago. But as I do agree with you on a few things. The 315s in TFL, they're not brilliant. Overground for me, I think they're all right. However, I think if I was to put this from hindsight, I wouldn't say they're great, but I'd say they're good.
Okay. Right. Now we need to get the opinion of Albie. Come on, Albie.
Faster units, they're awful. 2+3 seating, low back seating, no, not acceptable. Terrible window alignment. I think 2 windows align on the entire train. Filthy, vile, nasty junk. Horrible. Should have been cut up 10 years ago, let alone in the future.
You've got your anti-hating train cap on.
He doesn't like
Albie.
Brel, does he? Right. Okay. Right. Well, I say great. Ross says good, and Albie says trash. So we're divided there. So I think, purely based on overground speculation, I think we need to think about that a little bit because we're sort of divided on that.
They're the same.
I think we're just kind of we're looking at kind of like one brand has got it right, but one lots haven't.
They're the same.
So effectively, I'd just put it halfway. So I think
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, I would as well. Okay.
I mean, yes, the Overground's done great, but the TFLs they could have done better.
Yeah, I'll put it. Yeah, I'll put it in. I'll put it in good. Right. Okay. So 2/1 because Albie doesn't like anything. Right. Anyway, moving on. Next train,
Yeah.
number 8, is the 321. Right.
Cool.
Fantastic. Amazing trains. End of.
Yeah.
I love them. I love the 321s. I got nothing against them.
I like them. I mean, for me, I know apart from there was the one time when they went on the overground, the livery just didn't suit them at all. I don't know what TFL were thinking of putting one of them on the overground. However, Great Anglia, as I've probably mentioned already, they're not the best company. However, with the ideas around them, I think the Renatus thing was a bit of a, in some ways, you could say a waste of time because the USB plug thing doesn't work most of the time, or aircon things they say they've installed. Yeah, beyond state it doesn't work if at all, or you can't really feel much difference. However, from a train perspective, I think they're really nice.
Yeah, I do.
I think they're really nice.
I think the motor's just at the right level. I think the Greater Anglia ones are very nice, very well done. I think the seating could be a little bit better.
Same with the livery.
The livery definitely could be very much better. I
Yeah.
think that the varied liveries on Greater Anglia's network also makes it that little bit better. The secluded environment, the way how sort of secluded you feel. You kind of feel like you're in your own like hubby hole or cubby hole even when you sit on them. But
back in years ago, I think apart from the neck with Southeast livery, they actually painted one of them in the Netherlands livery. You know, the yellow and yellow livery for the Dutch Flyer.
yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I think the fact when that day comes when the 321s sadly leave Greater Anglia, I hope they do what they did with the Fair HST on NLR. They take one set and repaint it in the original Network Southeast livery. I know it's not going to sound like, well, that's not a great idea, but I think it would make it a bit more sense because
Yeah.
because if you think about it, before I mean, it's done its purpose on the Greystone. I know, yeah, it could be like some old crock, but the fact is, it's still doing its purpose even now.
I think it does its purpose really well. But that's just
Yeah.
the way that it's even trusted to do Norwich, which is even better to be honest. Anyway,
The motor side of things. I mean, the fact is, the one thing you kind of feel like with some trains, you just feel like, is that it? But then when you open sometimes when if you're sitting in the same carriage as the motor and you open the windows, it just feels like,
well,
yes.
absolutely. We don't want to go into too much detail because we don't want to go into too much detail because we've got a lot of trains to go through.
We've got a lot of trains to go through.
But let's go with verdict, right? I would say they're really, really good. I don't really have a lot of issues with them, so I personally would put them in amazing. But before we do, Albie, your thoughts?
It depends. The Renatus one's probably just about scrape good, maybe even great. But the original ones are poor. Not quite trash. Not as bad as the awful, dreadful 319s, but still poor.
So you would go
Why
with
is 317 in the
half.
tier list? We've not discussed that.
What's that?
So you would
Sorry,
go like
the which
half-one.
one?
Why is there a 317 in the tier list?
Hang on, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but anyway, let's carry on. We'll ignore it if so. Anyway, so the
Okay.
yes, so your thoughts then? What would you overall verdict it in terms of the tier? Which tier would you put it in, Albie?
It would be difficult to justify good, but overall on balance, because of the Renatus units being pretty decent, I could probably justify good. But on a whole,
Yeah, well, I think because Albie's views are very different to that of mine and Ross's because Albie, I guess, looks at it from a different perspective. But
so I know what the train looks like.
yeah, you study a lot of the trains and what they look like. So my view on it is, I think they're personally quite amazing trains, but that's just my view. My experience has always been good. So Ross, so my verdict is amazing. Albie's verdict is good. So what's yours, Ross?
I think if it was me, I would put amazing. I think for me, I think just scrapes it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's still, I think the least for me would be great, but I'd still say go amazing.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with them, but Albie studies it a lot more than we do. I mean, I'm in it for the ride quality, and I think 321s definitely provide that. Anyway, so next train, number 9, is the okay. So this one is the 322. It's very similar to the 321, but I think they purely do Leeds Doncaster, from what I remember.
Even more dusty, even more beat, poor.
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of them as I am the 321s.
Because then they started life on Stansted Express, and then they went up to ScotRail, and then they briefly, and then they just brought them back to Northern. But I can't understand the thinking behind that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 322s. There's not. I can't really say too much on them because I've only ever had one ride on it between Wakefield, Westgate, and Leeds. That's my only ever ride on it. But when I did go on it, I didn't mind it, but I thought the interior was very bland. I didn't think there was much to it. So I think they're kind of fake 321s in that sense.
Yeah.
So I personally, I put it in poor. I don't think they're as good.
Yeah.
Albie, what about you?
Yeah, they're poor.
Poor. Okay. So poor it is. 322s. Right. Next up is the 331s.
Ooh.
I really like them as well.
Wait, when did we put the 195? I think that was in top tier. Yeah, top tier.
Yeah, I think they belong in the top tier because if the 195 belongs in the top tier, then so did the 331s.
Aye.
I think with the 331s, when I saw the first one last September at Doncaster, I thought to myself, thinking, on one hand, this could go either way. It's either going to be a great train, or it's going to be absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
That was what was going through my mind, and I'm thinking, looking at the design of it, it's like the doors look a bit like they borrowed the design from the 458. But I looked at the interior and I thought, actually, it's not too bad. It's not. I mean, I know a lot of trains get a lot of criticised, most modern trains, because of their plastic. But I think this one was actually designed not too badly.
Yeah,
But I think, given time, as long as Northern get a grip with them and not screw them up, I think it could become a good train.
I do agree. I'd agree with Albie on the fact that they're probably amazing trains because their ride quality is amazing. They look amazing. They're Civity units, so they already are really good. And the 195s, of course, we rated amazing, so it's only fair to rate the 331s exactly the same, I think. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
I agree. Right, so 331s, amazing.
So, who's
Yeah,
spoken?
I'd say, mate. I think I'll give them. I think if it was me, I'd say good for starters. But obviously, I've only seen them probably the once. But I think, given time, I think they would be amazing as long as they
Absolutely.
maintain well.
Right,
Yeah.
we move on. We've done 10 trains, so 9. Yeah, 10. Okay, number 11 then we'll move on to, which is another one which I'd absolutely put in the amazing tier, the 332s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the South stuff.
I think that Heathrow Express made them look like they were a train for the future. They made them look. They are absolutely fantastic. But that's my view. Right, let's get the views of Ross before I say my full view. So,
I think.
Ross, go
I
on.
think with 332s, I mean, look, they did have their issues. What was it, a year ago when they discovered these structural issues with them, and they had to replace them all with 360s for what was it, about a week or so. But the thing is, as you said, it didn't feel like it wasn't just another train. It felt like something completely different. It was more like this was not 1990s. This is like they've been out like 30, 40 years in the future. But I think GWR for me, and no disrespect to GWR for me, but the fact is, I think they're going to regret letting them go.
Here's one reason why I probably wouldn't put them in amazing, is that awful flange noise. It is absolutely deafening. So
Well,
I think that their sensitivity with that and the way that they're built and their bogies and the way that they run on the rails isn't fantastic because of the fact that they are built very modern like, but the problem is that the 332s, when they come into Paddington and even when they go into Heathrow, their flange is awful. And they just have massive issues with that, and that's what I don't like. So I think they're good, but I do think they're great trains, but I don't think they're amazing trains But it is deafening completely.
So effectively, if they didn't have these issues, you would put them probably something like great or amazing.
Yeah, I probably would. So Albie, what about you?
So they go down a tier because they squeak on a corner. One corner.
So you go for great.
No, top tier, obviously.
He goes for top tier, and I go for great. So Ross, what's your verdict then? My verdict's great. Albie's is amazing. So what's yours?
I'd probably go. I probably would go for I'd say great.
Yeah, I would as well. Okay. Albie's always the odd one out when it comes to these verdicts. Sorry, Albie.
Like I have taste or something.
Maybe. Right, let's move on. The next one, number 12, is it's the 387.
Oh, trash.
Oh dear.
Awful things. Terrible, rancid junk.
You don't like the plastic seating, that's why.
I have to agree. I'm not a massive fan, but go on.
I'm not. I mean, I've been on them a lot of times, not just GWR. I've been on one with Gatwick Express and Gatwick Express.
Who's
yes. Are the sub-brand of Govir Thameslink, you donkey.
Why don't you say the name of the company rather than a made-up word?
No, the fact is,
let's not have this debate now.
I say the sub-brands because I think it's a lot more. If I say Govir Thameslink Railway, then
just say GTR. Just say GTR. That'd be easier.
They should. Well, GTR. That sounds like more like a racing class out of the Mon 24 Hours.
Christ.
Dear. Anyway, but I do concede that the seating is not brilliant, and the luggage space is a bit flimsy in some ways, but that doesn't mean they're not. I know I would be tempted to say poor, but I don't think so.
Gatwick Express does not exist.
Yeah.
Hi, Johnny.
Seriously. Come on.
Yes.
He left. He just popped in to make sure.
Yeah, okay. So it's GTR. We're just going to refer to them as GTR because that is basically what they are.
Yeah.
But my opinion, 387s, the seating is horrible for a start. I used to like them a little bit from when GTR Grey Northern had them. When we used them.
Just check that video and tell me. Skip to what is it? I've just linked your video. Skip to 1 minute, 1 minute 5 seconds.
Let's have a look. What's so 1 minute and something.
Yeah, 1 minute 5 is good enough.
Yeah, they are a fairly bumpy ride, I will admit.
They're very, very, very.
Just
right.
just
Okay. Let me just break it down a second. Just by livery, and because each one to me is a little bit different. So
okay.
GWRs is probably my favourite.
Yeah.
GTR Red, so GTR Gatwick Express is second, but I think C2Cs is pretty bland, and I think
Yeah.
and I think GTR Great Northerns are okay, but no, I think basing on that, I probably wouldn't say they're the best trains in the world, so I'd put them in poor. I don't think they're trash though. I just think they're poor.
No,
they have one good point.
I think for me, it's a difficult one. I think it's like some companies have done a good job of them. Some companies have not. I probably would have to. I would be tempted. I know this might not sound the most popular opinion, but I'm going to put good on this one.
Yeah. Albie, what about you? What would you put it under?
Probably one of the worst trains I've ever used.
So yeah, he's going to say trash. Okay, well I'm happy to concede on good there because I think that's probably a fair bet, and I don't really want to disagree on it. Looking at it and judging my decision and Ross's decision, I kind of think good is probably justified in the sense that they are fairly modern. They look modern, and as much as they are, the ride quality is pretty poor. We could probably say good purely for the fact that they do look good and their sort of overall look is quite nice. So yeah, we'll say they're good.
They're uncomfortable. They bounce all over the place. Sounds good to me.
So next one then. What are we on? 12? Or is it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right, number 13. It's a 379.
I don't know where to start with that one. Albie, I'm going to leave that to you to start off with this one.
Albie?
They're good, but no better than that. First class is nice. League's ahead of a 387, which is in the wrong place.
You're just not going to let that go, aren't you?
Ross, what about you, Ross? Go on. It's your local area, so come. It's your used to be local area.
Well, actually, I think with the 379s, I've only been on. Surprisingly, you may find this super weird. I've only been on them a few times, but I don't. I think they're not too bad, but I think Greater Anglia could have done a much better job of them.
I agree.
I think probably for me, I would be tempted to say. I probably would say good. I probably just say the same thing as the 387s.
I'd agree.
There's no way they're not amazing.
Go on. When I travelled on their when Greater Anglia's Stansted Express brand, when I travelled on it, it didn't really scream airport train or sort of it didn't really scream 332 like train to me.
No.
Like it didn't do that at all. It just felt like another train. It didn't really feel like I was going to an airport. It kind of just felt like I was on another commuter train going somewhere, and I wasn't going to Stansted to go and catch my flight. Because if you look at the 332s, what they did is when you actually sit on their trains, you can watch the news. You got business news because you got to remember Heathrow is for.
Like you were on an airline, but actually you were travelling on the rails.
But this is the. Yeah, but this is the thing, right? When you're on a 332, on GTR Gatwick Express actually as well. When you're on either of them, you don't actually sit there and think, "Oh, I'm going to an airport. I'm going to Gatwick, or I'm going to Stansted." You sit there and you think, "Oh, I feel like I'm on another commuter train. What the hell is this?" Like the only thing that probably remotely links me with an airport is probably the translated announcements. But that's probably the only thing that would scream it for me. I don't think they've done a great job in making it a very good airport train. They're nothing special, so I'd say they're good.
Yeah.
I think I think even Albie agrees they're good. So
Never all the luggage racks and the luggage storage, lockable luggage storage, all the other airport
yeah, so
facilities they have
379s.
on board, the lounge
So-
access that buying a ticket for them gets you. Yeah, not an airport train or anything.
It's
Yeah.
Not, it's not an airport.
So-
Train. It's just
so-
another train.
Yeah, so
So I
three.
think it just put
Go
that
on.
good. I would
Yeah,
say.
so 379s we rank as good. Okay, next up, 14 is the triple threes, Northern.
I'd say they're going one tier below where the 332 should be. So great.
You mean? Oh, okay. In your opinion, anyway. In your view. Okay, Albie. What's your reason for that then, Albie?
Well, they're just B-Tech 332s, aren't they?
Suppose so. I don't see. I've never been on one. It's the only. It's one of the only EMUs I've not been on. But I can't really pass judgment on this. So I'm going to leave it to Albie and Ross to decide because I can't pass judgment on them except for the outside.
Well, I think you're going to make the decision a bit more complicated because I actually have not been on a 333 either.
So I think it's based on because me and Ross have never been on one. The only thing I could really say is they look better. I think they look kind of better than the 332s in terms of the outside because they have
the fact they're not maintained well.
Yeah, they're not maintained well. Their livery's a bit bland. I have looked on the inside. Ross will ask Ross that.
Yeah. How do you know they're not maintained well? You can't just make things up.
Do you know they're not maintained well, Ross?
Well, if your thing is before the government took over Northern, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you say Northern trains?
Probably.
Strike action, breakdowns,
332.
etc., 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 etc.
Yeah, but
You could write a whole checklist of the problems you'd had, but I think that for me 333s, if I look at them, I'd probably say I would rank them the same as Heathrow Express 332s. However, because they weren't really maintained well,
How do you know?
I'd have to.
when you say they're not maintained well, Ross.
But the reason why I'm saying it is because if you look at the differences, the fact is with Northern, like I said, the first thing you get with them is breakdowns.
Yeah, but go on.
Any stats, or are you just making it up? Come on.
This is my view, right? This is my view. Just to save us debating about it, right? The triple threes, okay, just because they're with Northern doesn't mean they're not maintained well. The only reason Northern do have a lot of trains that break down, but the triple threes are not one of them. The triple threes, in my opinion, are on the same level. I think they are on the same level as the 332s, in my view. I think they're great trains purely from the look of them. They look really nice. I'd love to travel on one to Bradford or Skipton or wherever and enjoy the ride. But I can't say much more than that. So I think they should rank on the same level as the 332s.
I think if it was obviously okay, if it was me, if I were to take back what I was saying about Northern, then obviously I would rank them as poor. But when you take Northern out of the equation and you just take it as just a train, I think you could say there isn't much you can complain about it in terms of what it is.
I'll put it in great. I think it belongs there. But
I think it's. I probably would say I think for me I'd put it in good, but I think if you're saying it's great, then I'll go with you.
Yeah, Johnny, you can join in, but just you, please. But Johnny's going to come and join in now and join in with the rest of us. So you could join in, Johnny, but just you, please. Anyway, right. So moving on, the next train, number 15, is the 380. I don't like them.
Here we go.
I dislike them a lot. I think they are boring EMUs. Right, my reason for them being boring, the look of them on the outside, it looks like, it kind of looks like a transformer. When you go inside, it looks like, when you go inside, the seating is, the plug sockets are a good addition, right? But to me, going on them so much, I just think they're really bland. I don't think they really, I just don't like them. There's just something about me that I don't like about the 380s. I think that, the typical D0 unit.
Do you think the design of them?
Nothing else like them in the world. What are you on about?
So there are nothing else like them in the world, but that's in my opinion. But hi JB, we're talking about the 380s.
Johnny.
Ah, yes, very nice trains.
Yeah, I know. I said that. They're top tier. Easy.
I don't think they are.
Ooh, it's a difficult one.
I think they were well suited when I went on them. Have you been on one?
I have. I've been on many. I think they are. I don't think they're bad. Okay, let me try and think of it like this, right? I don't think they're. I don't like them purely from my own experience. Probably it might just be because I've travelled over to Saltcoats so much when I stayed in Scotland. But okay, they're modern, yes. Okay, let me think about this from a realistic perspective. They're modern. They're really the seating on them is fairly good. The plug sockets are a nice touch. The automated announcements are quite good. The look on the outside, although it looks like a transformer, does look quite good. And they're the zeros. So maybe it's just me travelling on them. There's just something about them that bores me, but that's just me. Maybe it's just because I've used them so much. But okay, realistically speaking, I would probably put it up at the top purely because of how they look, and you got to think of it from a realistic perspective, not just because I've travelled on them so much. So I don't know. I'd probably agree with Albie on the great or amazing, because realistically they've got a lot of nice touches to them. Well, that's changed quickly, hasn't it? In theory, realistically they are very good trains, and they've got a lot of nice touches to them. They're very suited to what they do, like Ardrossan, and all that. So yeah. So I personally, I put them in great. I wouldn't put them in amazing, but I put them in great. Albie, you put them in amazing. Ross, where would you put them?
Well, the thing is, though, since I've not been on one, but I'm gonna leave you to cast unanimous vote on that.
And Johnny, what about you? Where would you put them?
Great.
You put them in great for what reason? Like what bits about them would you say doesn't make amazing?
I think for a train to be amazing, it has to stand out and be really impressive for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd concur.
On all fronts.
Well
So,
done,
like,
John, for actually making the first good point of the entire video.
What? Excuse me, Albie.
Seriously, Albie?
You're the one calling 321s trash.
Okay, children, no arguing. Continue.
Anyway, let's carry on. Right, I think we've concurred.
I think 321s are trash.
Right, we'll put it in great because we've concurred on that. So 380's great. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
378's London Overground. I'd agree. I don't like. They are not the most fantastic trains when you think about it. When you sit on them, it just the intention of them was to make it look like it was you were travelling through London. So the seating on them is obviously put to the side. So there's everything about that is a good move with the 378s.
Yeah. Right.
So, but the way they look just isn't very good. They're fairly quiet in terms of their motors. They haven't had a lot of issues, which is a good thing. So those are my points. But I think my issue with them is just, for my opinion, the interior. I think that they're suited to what they do in London, and that feel of being in London, sitting on a London train, a commuter train, is good. So I would put them in good, but that's just my view because I only have small quarrels with them. So We have to go with the majority, though. It's not down to me. So,
I can't
Ro-
remember what train we're talking about.
378, London Overground.
Oh yeah.
So, Albie, what's your reason for being in poor?
They're just empty of anything.
They're empty.
They're just devoid of features. They're literally just tubes with a bench.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What about you, Johnny?
Pretty much what Albie said. Poor. It is a commuter train. You know, kind of does the job, but there's also some long routes that they do, and I think for those long routes, they're really uncomfortable. So
Or like what Euston to Watford Junction.
Yeah, Euston to Watford is probably their longest route they've ever done, and I don't think they're very good for that. I'm glad the 710s came in for that, but I'm also I don't think I'm even happy with the 710s doing it, to be fair. So yeah, okay. So my verdict is good. JB's verdict is poor. Albie's verdict is poor. Ross, what's your verdict?
Well, when I look at them at first, I mean, at first I thought they're actually pretty good for me. That was until when TFL decided to ruin it by trying to make it look like a 710 in drag. The livery. If anybody's not seen what the new 378 liveries in 710 drag looks like, it's awful. And for me, I think it was a good train, but it was as it was. But since TFL have gone and done a bad paint job on it with the new livery, which they're kind of introducing, and also they make it difficult to see the numbers they put on the front cabs, which made it easy for you to see. They've now gone put them down where you could just barely see them at all.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for that reason, and it's not often I say this, but I actually have to agree with Johnny and Albie on this one. I have to say they're poor.
We put them in poor then. 3 on 1.
Sorry, but
there we go. Okay, next train then is right. It's the 466. Not the 465, but the 466. So this for me, okay, is probably we'll sort of go around the table. So I'll say my verdict. What we'll probably do, instead of just like saying one thing at a time, we'll just each say our reasons why, and then just say our verdict at the end. So the 466 for me is a fairly for the routes they do, things like Sheerness on Sea and what's the other one? I've forgotten it. From
was it Grove Park 2?
Grove Park Bromley North. That's it. I've not been on the Grove Park one, but I have been on Sheerness on Sea, so I could probably say half an opinion on this. That's probably the only thing. I think they're good at that, and I also think they're good at strengthening the 465s. But they're very they're not as modern as the 465s in terms of the way they look in the interior of them. It's very old, very bland. There's not really much else you can really say. They're pretty classic because they're networkers, but they're not as good as the 465s in my opinion. But it would all depend on what we think of the 465s, I suppose. But I personally would I don't think they're bad by any stretch because they're a networker, and I think networkers are fairly fun trains to ride on. For that reason, my argument would be good. So that's my reason. Ross, what about you?
I think some of the points I probably would say the same thing, but the one thing for me to just putting the 2-car on Sheerness branch, especially like summertime, for me just doesn't make sense at all. You should really, if you're going to do a 466 on the Sheerness branch, well, two things they could have really done. Instead of having a 2-car, they should have had the option to extend it to a 3-car, or the other option is you can couple two of them together, but then for me, you might as well take up just one set 465 and put on Sheerness.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think the idea, if it was like that small hop of Grove Park to Bromley North, okay, sure, that's fine, but by putting them on Sheerness branch from Sittingbourne, unless you're going to extend them, maybe if South Eastern probably consider extending maybe one train to say Faversham or something, or I don't care if it's Gene and whatever, then that make it a bit more appealing. But for me, as it is, as from a Sittingbourne to Sheerness, as a 2-car, Sorry, I just can't live with that. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to put that as poor.
Okay. So my opinion's good. Ross's is poor. So Johnny, what about you?
I've been on 1, I think, maybe 2.
Okay.
They're not bad trains, a bit dull. 2+3 seating, which is always bad on any train, regardless of where it's going. So poor.
Albie?
Yeah, they do a job. They do it well enough. Nice big windows. Sound pretty cool. Mid tier, good.
Okay, so 2 on good and 2 on poor. Oh dear, we're divided. Right, okay. I suppose if we're divided on it, we have to go with what everyone else thinks. So we'll come back to it in a minute. Actually, we'll do it now. Guys, say your views now. Which tier do the 466s belong in? And I personally think they're just good trains. I don't think they're great or amazing by any stretch. Like my reason, like I said, I don't think they're as modern as the 465s in the way they look. They haven't been as well looked after. They don't look like they have anyway. So yeah, everyone's saying good or poor. So yeah, it'll be good. Everyone's saying good.
Okay, fair enough.
So 466 goes in good. Okay.
Say, ask the audience.
Okay, so the next train, I can't really pass any judgment on, except for looking on the outside. So the next train is the 397, but we'll go around the table like before. So looking at the 397, I think they are sensationally good looking trains. They have been brought in to help out Manchester and Edinburgh from Manchester, Edinburgh, Glasgow and Edinburgh from Manchester Airport. They look like they do the job really, really well, but I've not been on one yet. Sadly, it's one of the things that I was going to do, but then obviously COVID-19 came in and it's prevented us from doing these things. But 397s were on my list of things to go on. Sadly, I haven't done it yet. So but from the way I can only go by the way they look, and I think they look amazing. So I'd put them in amazing for the way they look. But I'm sure Albie and Johnny could probably input more. So we'll leave it.
I can't actually leave a comment until my video is out because otherwise there's a conflict of interest, unfortunately.
So Johnny?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, go on then. All right, okay. Jesus Christ. Go on then. Leave your view then, Albie.
So they are lovely, lovely, lovely looking things. Like from the outside, as you said, brilliant. Every single seat on the inside lines up with the window. The lighting on the inside is lovely. The color scheme is just fantastic. They're pretty smooth for the majority of the time. They're very, very, very uncomfortable, but I don't let that ruin it for me. I would say they're probably top tier as well, to be fair. They stand out as something new that really does.
Okay. Okay, and Johnny?
Great tier. They would be amazing if they had comfier seats, and the fact they didn't rattle so much. Apart from that, they're very nice, modern trains. They do exactly what their set out to do. The capacity is massively increased, and I went on them multiple times just around Manchester, and also long distance as well. And I don't think I ever had like an overcrowded train.
Yeah.
They do what they're meant to do, and they look nice.
Okay, so I'm putting it in amazing. Albie's putting it in amazing. Johnny's putting it in great. So Ross, where would you put it?
Same thing, Kieran. I've said the thing with you is that I've not been on one, but if I was to look at the appearance of them, it's like they've been designed well. They look very good. They look great, and actually very striking, and not very like, oh, I've just seen this type of train before. Something that makes it stand out. But I think probably as I think it was it Albie who says the seats was did you say it was a bit uncomfortable at times? I think
both.
Yeah, I think the fact is that I think if I was to look at it, I don't think Johnny's made a good point. It's not like it's like thinking, okay, seats wise, not best, but you kind of feels up. At least I'm better on this one than actually on a 350 going to someone like Edinburgh or Glasgow.
Yeah.
But I think overall, if I was to put it for now, I'd go for great.
Okay, well, we've I think we've got our almost decision. So again, it leaves down to everyone else. Amazing or great? 397s.
I've posted it in the chat for you.
You know, Charlie's he's been asking on the chat saying he wants to join.
No, it's not.
I said it'd probably take too long. It's already taken quite a while.
Yeah, it'll take too long, so we'd rather not.
Yeah, sorry, Charlie. I'm afraid on this one, you're just gonna have to miss out, bud.
Yeah, Charlie, you're on a video soon though, so don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people are saying great.
Yeah, we'll put it down to great then. Okay. Right. So we'll go with that. So the next one, we're going to get through this quicker now. We've got to try and get quicker. So the next one is the 357s. So I'll go first. Right. I've been on many. I've actually been on the C2C network a fair bit. And I can't say the 357s really strike much. Right. So I think they look really modern, and that's a good thing about them. They look like the 170s. They're like an electric version of them. The way the way they're made, and the way they're designed. I can't really say their interior says much to me. I think it's pretty bland. It's a commuter train though, so that's probably a good thing. But they are pretty bland trains. There's not really much. You see too many of them. They're on a boring network. They're on. There's not really much. So I don't think they're poor. I would say they're good, but that's my view. So there we go. I'm over. Ross.
I think for me, we're gonna try and make this quick. For me, started off okay, although I did spend a bit of time at Upminster. But for me, biggest problem for me, it's just on the outset, it looks just bland and dull. It's just nothing really excites me about them. When you get on the inside, it's like I'm thinking interior. It's great interior, but when you try and put a 4-car to Southend Central, that's not a good idea. Especially on a packed day. I mean, I can remember one time I was getting on a bank holiday Monday going down Southend Central, and
can I just point out? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Ross, but try and think about it from a perspective of the actual train, not the formation of a service. Think about it from a perspective of the actual train.
I think the design of it, I think, was a bit copycat of a 170. However, it's not a bad train, but it's not a great train. So I'm going to probably put it, I'd say probably around about good or something.
Okay. Johnny?
Yeah, I'd say good. It is kind of in line with all the other trains that are in good. Does its purpose. Is nothing special. It's designed just to get people to and fro with not really much else. 2+3 seating. I can't stand it. I'll never give amazing to a 2+3 seating train.
Yeah, and
that's where it stands.
And Albie?
Yeah, they're pretty comfortable things. Sometimes they have 2+2. Not all vehicles, but some. I've done a good few journeys on them. Some of them had tables at the end too, which is nice. They're pretty unique. Obviously, it's a unit, so not too unique, but vaguely unique. I can't complain. I'll put them in the middle. Look good. Okay,
good it is. Right, up next. Good's gotten quite big now. Right, up next. Let's get through this. It's the 374. There we go. Right.
I don't even need to discuss
absolutely top tier. Absolutely. Okay, I'll go first. Reason they're top tier, I've not been on one, but they look incredible, they sound incredible. I filmed Departure from them at Ebbsfleet. I've seen them rush past at Ashford, I've seen them rush past at Stratford International, and I've seen them leave St Pancras. They sound amazing, they look amazing. I can't wait to ride on one when I eventually go into Europe when this whole horrible coronavirus thing is over. End of story. Amazing tier. Goodbye. Good night. Right. Ross, your turn.
I'm going to just be straight off the bat. I think they're quite good for me, but I'd be tempted to say great because they do the job, and not on one because the last time I went on, but I think from the outset, I think they're great.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Johnny.
Best train in the world, amazing tier. That's what I have to say.
Is there anything in particular you like about them?
everything. There's nothing to dislike about them. Anyone who says that a TGV is better than a 374 is completely wrong in every aspect. They do
Ryan,
amazing
Ryan.
train. Like the
Yeah.
374, like it's just an amazing train. And then like, Germany have just got it sussed. They got ice threes,
Be-
and they also, yeah.
because
And
they make the interior look like you're on a business class cabin of a plane.
it's just a
Don't they?
comfy train. It's very nice, very comfortable, and it doesn't leave you stranded in Lille for 4 hours. That is the end of my story. Thank you.
Okay,
Amazing.
and it's pretty obvious what Albie's going to say, but Albie.
Hello, welcome to my life story. Yeah, they're far, 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 far better than anything else ever operated in this country. I mean, I don't even think that Amazing Tier is a fit for them. There is no tier that fits them. They're too high. They're in a completely different league to everything else I've ever used. I'm afraid.
Can I just ask, what's this Elbow Travels person done? I'm a little bit curious. I missed out. Is he? Is he asking for shout outs? Shouldn't ban him for that, to be honest, Charlie. Anyway, that's just my view.
Tell him to
Just you should probably just ask him. So yeah, I don't do shout outs. Sorry, I wasn't reading the comments. Yeah, don't ban someone for asking for a shout out. I'm going to do that.
I was looking at pictures of 374s.
I'm trying to let him do that action, but it won't let me. Okay, never mind. Right, let's carry on. Next one. Next.
Sounds so good. Lovely restaurant sometimes.
Next one then. The next one is.
No bad points.
Oh, it's a 707. Right. Where do I start? I think they are terrible. I think they are probably out of all the Zero City trains. The 707 is undoubtedly the worst one. No, but this is the reason why. Right? When Southwest Trains ordered them and then Southwestern Railway utilised them, they didn't come with any toilets. Which is already a disappointment in itself. They are not. Look, the Zero Cities are effectively the same. You know, they do the same thing. They're built for the same purpose. The 707 is built for the built for commute, but I don't like the 707s purely just because they lack toilets. I think that's the only thing that differentiates them to the other two. So,
is that something you advise Southeastern to work on when they go
absolutely, I think they should. They think they should absolutely work on it, and for that reason alone, the problem is that the positive spin to the 707s is that they are built for purpose. They do what they do what it says on the tin. Basically, they run commuter trains. They go from Waterloo. They are very good their formation is very good. They have a lot of seats, but
do you think that from your perspective they should have ordered more?
They should have ordered more, yes, which is another disappointment. But in my bit, I don't think they're good. So I personally will put them in poor. I don't think they're trash though. What about you, Ross?
I'd probably go the same thing, mate. Because it's just on the outset, it's just okay. It's just a commuter train, but on the inside, it's just seating wise, I kind of think so.
Yeah.
I'm just not buying it. And if you're gonna do for distances for like Reading or Weybridge or wherever, you got, as you said, it's lacking the facilities. And I think that's something when Southwestern leave Southwestern, when that's going to be, and Southeastern get them, I hope Southeastern work on.
Absolutely.
So I think for me, I don't want to say this, but I'd be tempted to say it. I would probably be hovering around between trash. So
poor and trash. Okay. Johnny?
No, I'm back from getting a drink.
Oh.
Poor. They're not the worst train in the world, but they're just I don't know. I quite enjoyed my ride on them, but again, as you said, no toilets. Kind of a bit stupid, but yeah, they're not bad. They do their job, but poor.
Right. And Albie?
I think they're great trains, to be honest. Very well made trains. built for a purpose, which is literally commuter lines. So that's all you could ever ask from them, really. Very, very, very reliable. The most reliable new train at all, actually. I think it's at least 2 times more reliable than the next best, and up there with some of the most reliable trains in the entire country, probably the world. They're very, very good things, and they look fantastic in that striking red livery, and better than things like 387, which have been crap.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you put it in then?
Great, as I said. Did I
Great.
say?
Oh, no, you didn't say. Okay, so but the majority, which is myself and Johnny, have said poor. So it's going in poor.
Retarded.
Oh, well. Shame. Anyway, right, next one is the Javelin 395. I actually like them. So the 395s, they're pretty comfortable for a start. The ride quality is incredible. I think leaving St Pancras, going into that tunnel, going towards Stratford, is probably the best experience I've had probably on the trains in the UK. Well, I'm yet to go on Eurostar though, so you know. But still, I think that in terms of like electric trains, 395s are probably up there with some of my favourites. Even though years ago I said I didn't like them, now I've really warmed to them the more I've travelled on them. So I personally, because of the ride quality, because of the way they look, and because they were even built during the Olympics. They did a really good job over the time with the Olympics. I'm quite happy to say it. They're amazing trains. So that's my view. Ross?
Amazing.
Yeah?
I can't say anything. I mean, there's nothing for me to complain about them, really. I just think if there's one thing I would complain about for me, is I think Southeastern probably should have ordered a few more.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
especially for like summertime when you're going services like Margate and amongst other things. But other than that, there's nothing else I can't complain about them. They've been designed well, they've been designed very thoroughly, they've got very great acceleration. And like you said, it's when you come out of St Pancras and when the throttle's like you feel like unleashing, they release when the drive opens up the throttle, you feel like you're on a this is not a train. You feel like I'm on a freaking plane inside a tunnel here.
Yeah. We want to try and not go into too much about it, but where would you put it in? Which tier would you put it in?
Amazing.
Okay. Johnny?
Why am I always last?
Yeah, Albie, you go next.
Oh, go on, Albie. Go on, Albie.
Horrible. Okay, so these things, I would say on balance they're good because there are good and bad points about them. For one, the ride quality, very bad. They were actually reported a few years ago that passengers were experiencing alarming wobbles on tunnel sections. Eventually they did try and fix it. They never really fixed it. Anyway, moving on. The window alignment, I'm sorry, but it is dreadful. Awful. Especially that bay of 4 seats which literally has no window. Why? Any reason? No, because they designed the doors poorly. Oh dear. Anyway, they do use nice German seats.
Seriously?
Yeah, mate, I know what I'm talking about.
I mean, doors design poor.
Mate, it's my turn. I didn't speak when you were speaking. Okay.
Yeah, but
Ross, let him carry on. Let him carry on.
Right.
The seats, they're German seats, so as you'd expect, pretty comfortable. I like it. The acceleration's quite fun. They even sound pretty okay, and being able to swap power modes is quite useful. Plus, I can never really complain about going fast, so I would say, on balance, the good points and the bad points, straight in the middle. Hitachi's only real good train. Dead in the middle, but good.
Right, okay, that's fine. And Johnny, go on. You'll go now.
I'm going to go for great. Like, I don't think they're, again, the best train in the UK. It has to be a pretty good train to get up there. But I think they're quite good. In the evenings, they get really busy. So I think they could have a few more, as Ross said. Other than that, they're not too bad. The ride quality is not amazing, but yeah. What do you expect in the UK?
What do you expect from Hitachi?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll put them in. Well, I think the majority have gone with amazing because me and Ross, and then Albie said,
If you work it out as the average, I'd probably say the average is probably in good.
Yeah, Albie, which tier did you go? Which tier did you go for?
I went for good.
Okay, and Johnny went for great.
One great and 2 amazing.
So it's going in amazing then.
but it averages out to great.
Doesn't matter. The two said amazing, one said great, one said good. So the majority is 2 on amazing, so it's going in amazing. Doesn't matter what it averages. Right, anyway, let's carry on. The next one is the 376. Not been on them, can't say much. They kind of look a bit ugly though. But that's just me. Again, livery's a bit bland. It's the old Southeastern livery though. Interior, I haven't really seen much of. Really good for strengthening services and also for the routes they do, because it's not massively long. They only go to like Dartford, don't they? So they don't go majorly far. But although they don't look that great, they do commuter train. They do the job, so I'd probably say they're good trains. But that's just me. What about? Okay, well, we'll go to Albi next for this one.
Oh dear, the 376. Oh dear. Honestly, not the worst, but I would say poor. Reason being, metal headrests. Why? Also, no aircon, and they're just kind of dank at this point, and not the good way. I mean, like, ew. Metal headrests, no aircon, and just filthy. Poor.
Okay, so poor. Ross?
I haven't been on them. However, from looking from the outset, I mean, they're more for commuter trains. They've done it purpose. But if I was looking at the styling in them, I think they could have done better. So I have to agree with Albie. Is what he said. They're simple as that.
Okay, so poor as well. And Johnny?
I don't think I've ever been on one. I probably have, but I can't remember it, so I do not wish to provide an opinion.
Okay, so it's going in poor then.
The only person who's been on them is me. Well, you're not missing.
Right, the next one then is the 385. I think they're pretty good. I won't go into too much because we've got to get through these quickly now. But I can't say too much about it. I think they're fairly good. The interior is good. It's a modern train. It's a very nicely modern train. The routes they do, like Glasgow, Edinburgh, is a really, really good move for them. They strengthen a lot of trains. My only quarrel was that they were delayed in production, and it basically meant the 365. Yeah, windscreen issues. Basically meant the 365s had to go over. But still, they do the job really, really well. And I think that the more routes they do, the more enjoyable they'll become. So the only quarrel was that they were delayed in production and they had a lot of issues to begin with. So I'd probably say they're great trains. What about... we'll go to Johnny this next one.
I like the 380. I think they're great.
No.
385s.
Wait, what?
385.
Shit, sorry. I'm on the wrong train. Yeah, they're good trains. I've been on them as well. They're fine. You said to be quick, so I'm keeping it short.
Yeah, okay. No worries.
Right.
And Albie?
I think they're probably in the middle of good. They're quite rough. They sound alright-ish. First class is very uncomfortable, but second class is alright. And overall, on balance, they're pretty alright. I'll put them in the middle at good.
Okay. Ross, quick opinion from you.
I'm just going to be probably for me. It's going to be straight in the middle. I think they could be designed better, but I think from a train perspective, I think they're fit for purpose. And I think, despite any problems, I think they are good trains.
Okay, so it's going in good. That's what everyone's agreed. Next up, the 450. Right. Just to go into a quick one with the 450s.
So it's just one word. It's pretty much it.
Look at the drink.
I think that there's right quicker.
Quick.
The more you say quick, the more or less I'm going to be quick. Some of the routes they do, and they're purpose built for commuters, a bit like the 707. So, but they're the better version, they're the older version, of course. But I think they're quite nice. I just disagree with them going on services like Weymouth and Poole when the trolley service is required because they can't get through properly. But otherwise, I think they're great. I don't think they're good purely because they look a bit bland, but that's just me. Right, quick opinion from you, Ross.
Quick opinion for me. I think they'd say probably split down the middle. So it's like good.
Okay, any quick reason why?
I think I think they could have done properly. They don't need to be really doing like way more. But I think as it's done its purpose, I think as go overall. That's what I say.
Okay,
Can't see anything to blame about that.
okay, and okay, so that's Ross, Johnny.
450s. I'm going to put them as great. The thing they like, they're really well. They're really good trains, but I don't like the fact that they don't have tables on the long routes.
Yeah, like Weymouth and Poole.
And the seating, and yeah, they just don't seem to fit that length of route. Is 444 on here? You haven't covered that yet, have you?
Yeah, everything
We
done.
haven't done that yet.
Okay.
Right. Okay, and lastly, Albie.
Yeah, I'd say they're great. It's weird because first class is actually less comfortable than second class, but second class is still very comfortable. They're smooth, they're fast, they're hard to complain about. Great trains.
Okay, moving on then to the. Oh, what's that one? I think that's another 315. I think I might put that one in by accident. Oops. Okay.
Oh,
I just realised that train, the overground one, was a 317. Okay.
I did tell you.
So let's swap them around then. So we put the 315 there. So where does the 317 go?
I would say good. They're better than 321s, for example, because they're more comfortable and they just look nicer, but not very nice trains overall. But I'd say good.
Okay,
Plus, you
right.
can get D-class first on LO sometimes.
I think they're fairly similar to the 315s in every sense, to be honest. So,
They're not at all similar.
well, okay, they're real nice. Johnny, what do you think of the 317s? 315s even.
317.
317s even. Sorry, go on. 317s.
I agree with Albie.
Yeah, and Ross, very quick opinion. 317s.
Yeah, same in the middle. Yeah, good.
Good. Okay, right. Let's move on. 365s. Right. Right. I don't have an issue with the 365s. I think that they're, again, a pretty comfortable train, very enjoyable to ride on. Very old trains. They have that old feel about them. But well, again, they're a networker, so there's not really. I don't really have much quarrel with them, actually. I think they do their job and they have always done their job really well. So, my personal opinion, I don't have a quarrel with them, is amazing. I do think they're pretty amazing trains. We'll go to Albie.
What are we talking about?
365s.
Oh, I'd say they're probably great. They're basically 465s, except for 2+2 seating instead, and I'd say they look nicer. They have a nice, very modern-looking cab, to be honest, for such a classic design. Better in first Capital Connect days with the nicer interior, but it's still done pretty well. Huge
Okay.
windows, small, great.
Fair. So great. Ross.
I think for me it's like I think that there are great trains, but I think they could have done probably maybe brighten the livery up a little bit because it's just on the outset with new livery of green or just look a little bit green. However, I can't really complain much about it.
Okay.
So I'd say great.
Okay. So Johnny, you're the last one.
They're great trains. The only thing I don't like is the fact that they smile at you. It's kind of creepy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're good.
So I'm glad we think they're great. So that's good. So great it is. Right, next up. Oh no.
What?
Let's let Albie go first.
Trash.
800.
Trash.
It's the 801. It's the 801. Go on, Albie.
As we've already said, they're the worst trains ever made.
Have you classified them all separately?
The 800/802s were on the DMU one, so I put the electric only one, the 801 on this one. So
Okay.
like the ones of LNER. So yeah, Albie, go on. The trash, yeah.
Oh, absolutely no excuse for anywhere else except for trash. They are unbelievably poor trains.
Okay, well we know your reason why. So Johnny.
I'm jealous of them for only one reason, because they have buffets, and I really want buffets on GWR ones. But yeah, as Albie said, they're very uncomfortable, and I would never ever want to Well, I know they don't go. I'm talking about the whole family here. Like, I never want to go on a long distance journey on one. Like,
Yeah,
Working on them's okay, but not traveling.
yeah. So which tier would you put it in?
Poor.
Fair enough. Albie won't.
Not trash. I think poor because they're. I don't think they're the worst train in the world. I'm not on the same level as Albie with that. I see it more as
If
from
you wait
working
for
on
your worst train in the world to come on the list, mate, don't worry, I'll back you up.
them.
Right, and lastly, right, okay, and I'm going to agree with JB on that one. I do think I think they're I think because they're purely with LNER and the livery and the interior is a bit better. That's the only reason the 801s probably go a step above the 800s and 802s. Don't care. Don't.
I have to explain this.
Here he goes. Here he goes. Right. Okay. And
So it goes up a tier.
Yeah. So I get my opinion before Albie goes into IET hate syndrome.
yeah, go on, Ross.
I think the Azuma really looks good, but as I agree with Johnny, they're not the poorest train, but they're not the best train. I think they do need a bit more time working on a few things, but I still have to, for me at the moment, I have to put them in poor.
Slander. And
Okay.
also treason.
So we
Move
go
on before Albie says anything else.
right. We're going to poor. Right. Okay. Right. Moving on. The next one.
Weird tier list.
Okay. Here's another train that I will happily put in poor. The 377. The 377. I don't like them. I think they're bland. I think they are unreliable. I think that the seating is terrible. There's nothing really much I like about the 377s, to be honest. Probably one of the worst trains in the Electrostar family. So I put them in poor. So that's my view. Johnny.
I don't mind them. I don't like the fact that they're owned by a fraudulent company, but there we are. Yeah, I would say like good. In all honesty, I think they're on the same level as all these other trains in good.
Okay.
I don't think they're as bad as you're making out.
Okay. Well, that's just me. Albie.
I would say they are definitely in good. Better than 387s, which are for some reason in that tier. I don't understand how they got there. And, like, obviously, 377s are more for the fact they actually have something that you may know of called padding. Anyway, they're not really that good, but they're not really that bad. They're that bang in the middle, along with all these other trains that probably shouldn't be there.
I wasn't here when you discussed the 387. I feel like I'm missing out.
Oh my god, it was absolutely insane. KB said they're not comfortable, they don't ride smooth. I'd say they're good.
I didn't say that. I said I liked their outer shell. I said that I like the way they look, and I said I liked.
They got the same
I know they have the same as the 377, but the 377 have other reasons why I don't like them. And there's a reason why I prefer the 387s because they are that little bit more modern. But that's just me. Okay, but anyway, I think we should have JB's input on a few of these to move them around. But we'll come to that very quickly at the end. The 377s are going in good because that's what most people have said. Ross, what about you? Sorry, what did you say? What do you think of them?
I think I'd say good, but some roads they shouldn't really be doing. But other than that, I can't really. But as you said, Kieran, they are not the most reliable.
Yeah.
In terms of Electrostars, and they are a little bit bland and boring at times. But other than that, but they're not the worst trains. But I probably still.
Yeah.
Just.
Okay. Right. Next up.
Anyway.
Right. Here's another one for you guys to hate on. 373. Let's let Johnny and Albie go first.
Oh no.
Right.
I'd be tempted to swear, but obviously
it's not your turn. These are awful. Unbelievable. Like, they're the only train I've been on that has broken down actually 3 times, which is pretty impressive considering I've only been on them 12 times.
Oh Christ.
One of those failures was a 4-hour delay. No reason why. Just awful.
When was this?
Terrible things. Honestly, cramps, bumpy, rattly, cheap shit. They belong in trash. They're awful.
Oh Christ, Albie. Okay, now Albie's had his rant. Let's ask Johnny.
It's just gonna be the same.
So, recently, me and Albs were on a 373. It broke down for 4 hours. Eurostar made up some shitty excuse. Then tried to not give us a hotel because they realised how shit their trains are. Anyway, 373s are horrendous. The toilets smell, look, act, and just are generally shit. The buffet, old, dated, shit. Quite frankly, I cannot wait for them to all fuck off. Because I hate them. They're the worst train in the world, and anyone who likes them is getting banned from the chat. Do not say you like them or you're getting banned.
Ignore him. You're not actually getting banned.
Oh dear.
Right. Okay. Right. I don't say my opinion. Right, Ross, go on. Your turn.
I think I think for me, they are dated and they kind of lost their appeal. I think overall they have to be poor for me.
Okay.
Sorry, but they just have to be poor.
Yeah, and personally, I'm going on the same level as Johnny and Albie. I think they are. I think the only thing that stands out for me is the sound of them, but that's about it.
No, shut up. There's nothing good about them. You don't even need to go on them. Just look at it, listen to what me and Albie say, never go on one. And all those people in the chat who are saying, I love 373s, I bet you've never even been on one. How can you say you'd like something you've never been on?
It's going in trash. I think we have to sit there and say it goes in trash. So there we go.
Silence yourself and agree that the 374 is better.
Right, can we move on? Right, the next one is the 483 Isle of Wight.
What?
The 483.
The old 19. There used to be 1938 stock.
Oh, that.
The Isle of Wight stuff. Right.
80 years old.
Okay, so let's. I want to ask Albie first because Albie probably knows a little bit more. So Albie, go on. What do you think of the 483s?
They're kind of barely relevant to my life, so I'm just going to put them in the middle because they don't really do much.
I think they're good. I think they're good for what they are, to be honest. And yeah, yeah. No, it would be. I think we'd put it in the middle. I don't think much of us know much about them, do we?
Oh, I mean, I've been in one.
Ross, what about you?
I think for me they're gonna have to be poor.
Really? For what reason?
Yeah. They've just they're well past their sell-by date. They're completely falling to pieces, and how they've managed to last 80 years in service, I will never know. They should have been. I mean, and for me, you know, their time's up. Sorry, but I'm afraid they're not good anymore. So even on Iron Line, sorry, people in Isle of Wight, but I'm afraid it's not a good train anymore.
Okay, and my view, I don't really have much of a view, so I'm just going to sit it in the middle.
Do I not get a view?
Yes, JB, go on. You get a view.
Wow. I think they're good. Do you know why? Because they're not really a train. They're more of a fairground ride. Like, you're just bouncing along the track, and it's just amazing. Like, it's the most intense experience I've ever had, and that's why I think it's a good train.
Okay, well, it's going in good, so sits in the middle. There we go. Right,
Okay,
next up,
that's fine.
get through quickly, is the 456.
Oh dear.
For the reason, I think there's two different ways you could look at this. They're only now with South Western Railway, but they're good for strengthening the 455s, but that's really about it. Their formation is a bit terrible, but the seats aren't that great, although they're the same as the 455s, to be honest. And the look of them is a bit rubbish, but that's about it. I think it's poor. Let's get expert Albie's opinion. Go on. What do you think of the 456s?
What do you think of the seats on a 450?
Pretty good. A 450 seats are okay.
They're the same seat, though. You just said it was poor.
Okay, whatever. Oh dear. Right. Anyway. Right. Okay. I've not been on one. Maybe I looked at it differently. Okay. Albie, go on. You say your opinion on them.
I'll just put them in the middle because they're average.
Johnny?
50 seats.
Never been on them, no opinion, although they look really ugly.
And Ross?
For me, they're gonna be poor. Sorry, they just look horrible.
We go in the middle. 456. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's what the majority have said. So there's not much really we can say about them. Right. These trains can literally go away and never exist anymore. 313s. I think I'm going to be sick. Right. Right. These for me are the worst electric units in the country. Oh, actually, next to the 373, the worst electric units in the country.
That was on the seat then.
The 313s, great. Right, GTR Great Northern did an absolutely botched job, and First Capital Connect actually for that matter did an absolutely botched job of looking after them. GTR Southern
yeah.
haven't done much better, and to be honest with you, they are the worst units in the UK for worst electric multiple units in the UK that run domestically completely. So yes,
so even down the southern routes like east and west coastway lines.
absolutely. So I would say that they belong in trash. That's just me. Any other input, Johnny, Albie?
Yeah, that dirty, dusty, dank, nasty piece of trash. So, trash.
Trash, because wherever they go is just usually trash, like all of London. And then they end in Moorgate, which is quite possibly the worst station in the world. I've
Yeah.
never smelt somewhere so vile. Like, you would never want to be there in the middle of summer, you just die. Like, yeah.
Okay, so they're going in
I can't complain anything about the opinions there. I'm going with trash. If
Trash.
you guys are going with trash, I'm going with that as well.
Okay,
Sorry,
so trash it is. Right, next one. Right, so I think the 507s belong the same place as the 508s. So the next one then is the 323. Right, another train I don't like. The interior is really bad. West Midlands trains interior is pretty bland. It's not modern at all. If you look at the other standards of the trains they have, even like the 170s and the 153s, you have to look at a 323 and think, why have they not been put up to the same standard as that of every other train that they, even like the 319s, why have they not been put up to the same standard? It's literally because they can't be.
Their armrests are backwards and the tables face downwards.
So I don't like the 323s. I also don't think they've done well with Northern either. So that's just my view. So yeah, in my opinion, they are trash trains. So Ross.
There's nothing really exciting about them apart from every time when you hear them de-accelerating or accelerating. They sound like little crybabies, like struggling their way out of like Wolverhampton, just like. You could even have a car line louder than that. It's just
What kind of
terrible.
drugs do you do, mate?
Luckily, I don't do any. If I did, then obviously I would be an idiot. And
Yes.
I'm not an idiot.
Right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Johnny.
Poor trains. Although I do understand why they don't do up the interior, because all the routes they serve are the exact type of routes where a nice done up interior would just get destroyed.
Okay.
I.e. Manchester and Birmingham.
And Albie.
Sam's got a gun to my head, so I have to say amazing. But in my opinion, I'd probably put them in poor. They're not trash, but they feel really dated, and they're always vandalised. Poor.
Yep. So poor they go. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Next up is the 442. We'll begin with let's begin with Johnny for once, because Johnny's not had to go first. So Johnny, you can go first for this one. The 442.
What?
Southwestern
442s.
Oh yes, I remember now. Oh yeah, the pigs.
Yes, the pigs.
I don't think I've been. Actually, I have been on one. They're okay. They just keep breaking down, don't they?
Yeah, they had a mass. Southwestern Railway had to take them out of service for a while because of the issue at Earlsfield. They went past the signal and it triggered. It switched everything off. It blew. It just basically filtered all the signals. It was really, really bad.
They're just like a fill-in train, really, aren't they? They're not really meant to be anything special.
Yeah, no, I agree. Albie?
Crash. What speak with a master. But if you want from Southwestern and then GTR took, well, no, actually it was Southern at the time. Southern took them on. GTR obviously inherited them when Southern ceased to trade. And they were utterly, completely beat by the end of that contract. And Southwestern were like, you know what? How can we make things really, really bad? Let's introduce the completely beat scrap heaps. And, well, they're falling apart. Like, they're one of 2 trains in the country where you can play Find the Loose Panel on. They always
That's
win.
true, actually.
Not to mention the terrible reliability and the fact that they've already been withdrawn twice from Southwestern. They're actually not in service now because they had to be withdrawn again.
Why did they get
Yeah.
Why did they get withdrawn again?
System updated.
Because they're garbage. They need to have 2 staff in the cab, and they can't do that.
Strike action. Wait, what? Anyway, right, let's carry on.
Because of the virus.
Yeah, because of the virus. Yes.
Trash.
Anyway, the next. So, right, let me say my view on it, and Ross can then have his. Right, my view on them is that they are pretty poor trains. Like, I went on one, and my only ever experience on one, and this might make you guys feel a bit sick, but I'm sorry, but I went on a South Western Railway one from London Waterloo to Woking because I was coming back from a trip. I think I came back from Shoebury-Ness. I was going on the trip through CTC. I went to film at Upminster with Dennis, DS Intel, and I went back to Waterloo and I boarded one. And I must say, it was the worst experience of my life because when I went on it, it was packed for a start, and then I thought, oh, right, my phone's dead, and I really need to go to the toilet. So I went to the toilet, went in, and opened up the toilet, wouldn't flush, and it smelled disgusting. I walked out and waited for my 159 and went there instead. It was absolutely disgusting. Let's just say it was not flushed, and there were some pretty horrible sights in that toilet. So yeah, an absolutely terrible train. But not, yeah, literally that. And not only that, the seats are pretty bad. The way they look is really poor. It kind of looks like it's a work in progress still. I don't like them, so they go in poor for me. They're not trash because there are some little bits of appeal to them. I think they sound good, and I think that the idling sound is quite pleasing. But otherwise, it's poor. It's poor for me. So that's my experience. Ross, what about you?
I think I have to say poor because obviously on the outset they would have been great trains, but unfortunately, because they decided to move before they were moved away from Southwestern, they got completely killed by doing Southern, Gobi, Thameslink, whatever. But and then they Southwestern just bring them back and thought sprucing them up with a nice Southwestern livery. Sorry, but I just don't buy it. It's just nothing appealing as such.
Yeah.
I just think they could have. I mean, the only thing Southwestern always there is they painted the livery, but they haven't done anything particular to it.
No, I agree.
If it's just a work in progress, obviously, if they are going to get their motors updated, whatever the systems are going to get updated, okay, fine, I'll give it a chance. But the thing is, though, I'm just not buying it, so I'm afraid it's going to have to be.
Yes, it's gone in poor because that's what the majority have agreed.
Yep.
Right, next up, the 444, a much better train, which I really like. So let me just think of it like this: 456. Before you stop banging on about the seats, yes, they are the same, but they're in a better alignment, better formation.
They're actually different.
Here he goes. Right, and they've got tables, which is even better. They're built for what they do, like Weymouth, Portsmouth. They should be doing Portsmouth more, and they shouldn't be doing things like Hazelmere. But anyway, that's just me. The 444s are a very good EMU. They're probably my favourite EMU with South Western Railway, purely because they have the good ride quality. They're very slick, a bit like the 450s. And I think they are the upgraded 450. I think they're Express 450. They're really comfortable. They're fun to ride on. Everything about the 444s are very good. So in my opinion, they are pretty amazing trains. I don't have an issue with them whatsoever. But I've always liked the 444s. But that's just me. Albie.
Yeah, they're going to the top. It's basically a elongated 350 and a posh 450. They are absolutely fantastic. They looked great in Southwest trains. They've kind of been ruined with the new ugly scheme and the dire first class seat. Well, it's not dire. It's not first class seating, is it? Yeah, I like them a lot. They're great.
Yeah, I agree. Johnny?
I mean, amazing, but yeah.
Amazing tier. Well done, Germany. Another good train. Very comfortable. I love the fact that they have tables and everything you could ever want. And yeah, they're just so much. I think they're so much better than a 450, and they serve like the long routes so much better.
I agree.
Weymouth, Portsmouth,
And Ross?
stuff like that.
I mean, when I first travelled on one of them, I thought first thinking about it, it's like, how train is this? That was what I was thinking at first, but then when I got on the first time, I just thought, wow, this is definitely exactly what it's fit for. It's not, and I can't really say anything wrong with it. And I don't know
No.
why some people, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, I know, yeah, delivery needs a bit of a paintwork, but other than that, it does what it does.
Exactly.
And so for me, I think you have to say Germany got it spot on again. So I would say amazing.
Okay, moving on. 375s, Southeastern. Should we begin with Albi this? Albi, sorry. What do you think of the 375s?
Check whether 377 are same tier because they're the same frame.
Yeah, I think personally the 375s don't really go any higher or lower. I think they should go in the same. I think all the Electrostars really belong in the same category.
Same tier.
Okay. Yeah. So
376.
I think except 376s because they're a step below. But 375s should go in good. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, moving on then. What about the 455s? Right. I want to see my opinion on these, right? I think they're actually pretty good. The 455s are more enjoyable than the 456s. To hear, they've got the same seats, but my enjoyment of them is the sound of them and the way they look and the things they do. They do a lot more, and they're for how old they are, they're actually fairly reliable. They've not really done much wrong, so I don't think they're amazing. There are some bits that I don't like about them, like the seats, but and the fact they also don't have any toilets. But other than that, I think they're great trains, so I'm going to say great. Ross.
By
the way, I'm not saying the same about the Southern ones. The GTR ones are actually pretty bad. But yeah, sorry, go on, Ross.
Yeah, I'll probably say the same thing. I mean, Southwestern done, decent job maintaining them. Southern ones are terrible. But I think overall, so to base it on both, I think I'd probably put them in the middle.
Okay, Johnny?
Are they the ones that tick?
Yes.
They made that really annoying fucking sound.
Will you stop swearing? My God.
They make that very annoying freaking sound. Yes, I do not enjoy that sound. They're not bad trains, though. They just...
And Albi? So good. Okay, Albi?
Yeah, good.
Okay, we'll put them in good.
Yep.
Right, next up. All right, 345. Should we start with Albi?
Oh, they're trash.
Why?
Wait, what train?
345.
710.
Oh, sorry.
With an uglier interior scheme. And the seats sometimes go forwards, but don't worry, they're uncomfortable as well. So, trash, straight down, rubbish, ugly as well, really ugly.
Okay, fair enough. So Johnny, what do you think of the 345s?
I've never been on one, but they look like... Actually, I may have been on one. I can't remember it, though. They look like that that really modern BMW car. Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Or that electric one.
Yeah, it looks really bad. Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been on them, so I can't really give an opinion, but that's just what it reminds me of.
Okay, fair enough. My view on them, I don't think they're trash, but I do think they're poor because they don't do much for me, to be honest. When I look at them, I don't think the yellow front just doesn't suit most trains. It certainly doesn't suit the 345s. The interior is pretty bland.
They don't have yellow fronts.
Yeah, I don't like them. I think
Okay.
that they're good for passengers, just if those who just travel. I think it's useful for them, which is a good thing. But other than that, the way they look, and the way my experience on them, not much to really write home about, to be honest. So, and they're not good trains because I just don't particularly like them. So, poor. Ross?
I think for me, that's okay, they go very well and do all that other stuff, but for me, I just haven't kind of got to grips with the idea. I just feel they just don't feel that appealing. I mean, apart from like the fancy door openings, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing exciting about it.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna have to go for
Poor. Okay, we've agreed poor. Right, moving on. We've only got a few more trains left, would you believe? Next up is the 717.
I
Albie,
don't think we need much introduction.
should we start?
They're great, like the 707s are.
717s.
Yeah,
So, you think they belong where the 707s are, yeah?
yeah, I've been great.
Up in great. Oh, here we go.
They were-
Okay, so you think they belong in great? Okay.
yeah, they look really nice as well. Just good, not very comfortable, but then again, they are literally metro trains and more comfortable than junk like the 345, 710, 800, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Great, I'd say.
Johnny.
I say good.
Have you ever
That,
seen?
that, huh?
Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, I've been on one.
Oh,
Once. Only once.
yeah, I've only done them like twice.
But yeah, they're just. They're the only better thing about them is the toilets.
Okay.
That's the only reason why they're going up one level. But yeah, they do their job well.
For
They
me,
look nice as well.
yeah. Okay, so good for you. Okay, no worries. Right. For me, I've not been on. It's another train I've not been on yet. It was one of those I was going to do this year as well, but didn't happen. So I'll have to just base my opinion on the outside. And I think they are pretty good. So I'd probably say they're a step above. But the thing is, right, the 707s I put in poor because I've actually been on them, and I don't like them. But the 717s I have to base from my own just view on the outside, and I think they look good. So Ross, you're the last one for this one.
On this one, there's another one I haven't been on. But the thing is, when I looked at the design side of things, I just felt thinking, who the heck designed it? It just didn't very good for starters. But then I think once it kind of went in service, and it's had a few niggling. But I think there's some potential. I think it's got good potential to become a train. I think the delivery could be worked on a bit more. But other than that, I just think it's a good train.
What do you mean good potential to become a good train?
Well,
What would they change?
Well, if there's one thing I'd change it to make it a little bit more appealing is delivery, because it just looks a bit bland. Delivery side of things. I just think it just could change that. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything else I can really change about it. But,
Right. Right. So let's go. So where? Sorry, what tier are you putting it in, Ross?
I say good.
So it's going in good because that's what the majority have said. Okay. Next, we've only got a few. We haven't got many left. Is the what about the 314s? I think that's the ScotRail ones.
They
There's
are
always
in
a-
service.
Are they not in service? No. Okay,
No.
we'll skip them then. Okay, so
Trashed anyway, because that's what happened to them. They got trashed.
okay. What about 320s?
Oh,
Ooh, that's-
or
I've been on one and I didn't particularly like it, but that's just me. So I again basing it on what I think. I'd probably put it in the same place as I put the 322s, but that's just me. So I put them in poor. Johnny, you got any further input? I'm guessing you might actually have because you've been to Scotland a few times.
I think I've been on them once. I can't really remember much about it, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures. They don't look too bad, but I'm just going to put them in good because I don't really know anything about them.
Right. No worries. So so good. And Ross, anything from you?
Well, for me, I'd probably have to. For me, it's not a bad train, but I don't think as good as like the 321s are. So I'm gonna have to put them in. Right.
Okay. So you're putting him in where? Which one?
Poor.
Poor. Okay. The train I was actually thinking of, it wasn't the 314s. It was the 318s.
right, so
Yeah. Oh.
So those are the ScotRail ones that look like 150-1s. So, again, another one I can't say much about, so I'll leave it to you guys. Albie or Johnny, have you ever been or seen a 318?
I've been on one.
7 basically. So I'm going to put them in good.
Good.
Not very good, but they're not terrible. So.
I think we'll just stick them in good. along with the 455, to be honest, and the other ones. So except for the 313, of course. Right. Moving on. We've got the 360. Right. This is another train I actually quite like. The 360 with Greater Anglia and with Heathrow, with the TfL Rail. TfL Rail's one again doesn't scream airport train to me because it's a bit like the 379. It's a bit disappointing when you're travelling through an airport. You buy the cheaper. I suppose it gets it more justified because it's a cheaper version of going to Heathrow, and they sell it cheaper. So I think that's probably justified in that sense, but that's probably not to do with the actual train. The 360 seats are good. It's a DeZero train, and I like most DeZero trains, so that's quite good.
Poor.
But
And good and poor.
but I think Greater Anglia's versions are the better ones. But I don't think TfL Rail's ones are that great. But I like the silver one that runs within Heathrow. I like that one. That's nice.
360-205.
Yeah, that one's nice. I like that one. So I do think it's a good DeZero. So I put it in. I'll probably put it up over the 380. I'll probably say it's great. But that's me. Albie, what do you think of them? Okay, we'll come back to you. Johnny, what do you think of them?
I think they're great because, well, it's just a 450 basically.
Yeah, no, agreed. Johnny, you got any? Johnny, what do you think?
I've never been on one. I'm just going to go with good. It's like medium. It's
okay.
I've only ever done Heathrow Express, not Heathrow Connect. I want to actually make a point about that in a minute.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
Ross, you probably know most about them. So, what do you think?
I'm gonna go split halfway. I'm gonna go for good. But the reason for it is because I think the 360 delivery on the Greater Anglia is very bland and a bit outdated. But they have done its purpose, and I'm playing about inside. So
okay, so 360 goes in good along with the others. Okay,
yeah.
Moving on. Got 4 trains left. 334. I've been on 2 334s before, and I must say that I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was quite an enjoyable train. That one of the 2 Juniper trains, and to be honest, I think it's the better Juniper train. We'll come to the other one in a minute. But the 334 is, I think it's a decent train. I think I don't have much quarrel with them. They're quite enjoyable to ride on. The sound of them is quite nice. They're very slick. They're built to do what they do through suburban Glasgow and Edinburgh. So yeah, not really a big issue with them. Albie?
I think they're great. Not as good as a 458, but still great. Very comfortable, nice windows. Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny?
Never done one, no opinion.
Ross?
I can't really. I mean, I don't really much to complain about them, but I think they're very good trains. So I'd probably go for good.
Okay, well, 2 of us went for great, so they're going in great.
That's fine.
So, 3 trains left. Next up is the 458. Right, Albie thinks that they are not as good. Sorry, they're better than the 334s. I actually think they're worse. I don't like the 458s purely because I think when the South Western Railway interior, I think the seating plan isn't very good. I think the automated announcements are quite poor. I think the overall, I think the way they look on the outside is quite good, but I think the whole seating plan in the interior isn't very good. And window alignment and all that, I think it's probably a little bit better, but it's not fab. It's not very good. And they're a bit dirty as well. I didn't like that. Good for commute though. Good for commuters. Albie, go on. What do you think? You probably like them.
Yeah, they're lovely. Nice warm red colour scheme. It's so much nicer. The outside looks really striking and iconic. And as I said, the other one's very comfortable. First class though, that's where it really wins. It's always declassified and has very fantastic ground seating.
Okay, and then so Ross.
I'm gonna have to go for 4 on this one, and the reason why is because the layout of it is a bit all over the place, and nothing really appealing as such. I mean, I don't know what else I could be said about it, really. So,
Okay. And the
I
last, go on.
go on, no.
Oh, go on. What are you going to say? You were going to say something, one more thing, weren't you?
But no, there's nothing I can really
Okay.
say about
If you're sure.
it.
So last leaves Johnny.
I think they're great. I think they're cool little trains. I quite like them.
Okay.
I've done them quite
Fair
a few
enough.
times, and I just think I don't have any issue with them. I think they're
So
quite nice.
we're divided on it. So Johnny, you might want to write another comment in there. Great or poor
Okay,
for
great.
for 458s.
Yeah, it's probably
We're divided on it, so it's 2 on 2. So poor or great for the 458s. Let's see.
Good.
seems like good.
Let's
Great.
see what other people think.
Great.
Yeah, they're going in great then. They're definitely going in great. I just don't like them personally, but that's me. There we go. Okay, they're going great. Okay, next up, and last two. Right. I hope certain someone is watching this, because the next one is the 465.
They're
Right.
466 and I'm putting in the same place.
Yeah, I agree. They're going good. I think even though they're in the same tier, they have 2 different motors, and that's probably the only difference with them. So they're longer. They've got more seats as well. So yeah, they're going good for me. They're a bit dirty as well, a bit like the 466s, but they're a little bit more modern. Like the interior wise, they've been switched up a little bit more. Any other opinions, Johnny?
Nope.
Ross, do you think they go in the same place? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got one left. I think we all know what that train is.
I don't
I don't have a clue.
know.
It's the 700.
Oh God's sake!
Right. Now this is where I'm going to sit with this. Right. I think the 700 out of all the Zero Cities is my favourite one because the 700s have the best looking interior, even though the seats aren't that great. They cover the most mileage. They are built and done really, really well with the routes they do. And personally, I think they're fab. I don't think they're amazing, but I do think they're great. They're better than the 717s in my view because I've not been on one, but the 707 definitely better. So yeah, I think they're great trains. So I would sit them in great. Ross, would you counter that at any point?
I can't really. I mean, yeah, I'd say the same. I agree with the same thing. The seating's not great, but the fact is, it's been pretty much well designed, and it has great mileage about them. And apart from that, I mean, yeah, I think it's a very good train. Great
Okay.
train.
Johnny.
I'm gonna go with good. I don't think they're like amazing trains. I think they're all pretty much on the same level, as commuter trains, nothing special. And also never ever buy a first class ticket because you don't have to. You just go and sit in there and no one will ever stop you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Albie.
I think they're amazing. I mean, like, they are everywhere. They absolutely swallow a crowd. The first class seating at the rear is
They swallow a crowd.
oh, they do.
You could probably swallow the whole town with a train.
Well,
The
they,
first class seating at the rear is honestly better than things like 800s, for example. Pretty nice at the back there. Really long, really open, proper German trains. Fantastic, amazing, top tip.
absolutely. Okay, we're done. Okay, that's all the EMU. So let's just do a quick review. So we go from the top. So amazing. We put the 350.
Listen out so you can
So-
make any challenges.
JB, you can tell us if you agree with any of these. All right. Any that you missed out on.
Go up a bit. Scroll
Yeah.
up.
Okay, let me just read them to you. So just listen. So amazing tier. We put the 350. Would you agree?
Mate, just show me. Go up.
Okay. Well, there you go. Look, there you go. You can.
Do what Johnny says.
Wait, you've got to give me like 10 seconds. Okay, I agree with all of them in the amazing tier.
Even the 321, the train that you placed in.
Yeah, no, I don't really assume with that. Like, why is that up there? That's the one thing I get rid of.
Right. Okay. Well.
Okay, where would you put it?
Right.
I
So
put it in.
I think we've got to go to a vote on that one in a minute, but we'll do that in a minute. So
Okay.
So let's review quickly. So 350, 390, 755, 745 even, sorry. 321, 331, 374, 395, 444, all in amazing. In greats, we've got 332, 333, 380, 397, 450, 465, 334, 458, and 700. Good, we've got the most. We've got the 508 and 507, 319, 317, 387, 379, 357, 466, 385, 315, 377, 483, 456, 375, 455, 717, 318, 360, and 465. Poor 322, 378, 707, 376, 801, 323, 442, 345, 320, and trash 710, sorry, that person, 373, and 313. Okay, we need to go to a vote on a couple of them because how many of those would you agree or disagree with, Johnny? The ones that you missed out on.
I disagree with the one in the amazing tier.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it should be up there.
Where do you think it should belong?
Like, good at best, maybe
Yeah,
poor.
that's what I was going to say. They are pretty poor trains.
Okay.
I don't understand why they're up there when they're identical to the 320.
Like, just take a look at all the other superior trains in there, and then there's just that. Like,
It was absolutely bizarre. I was gobsmacked when I saw that. I mean, it's identical to 2 trains in poor tier. Yeah, it's somehow not only gone up 1, but it's gone to the top.
Right. What we'll do an overall vote for the 321 because it's very, very divided. So we'll go down to poor. So 321s. We're going to go to a vote. Amazing, great, good, or poor.
Or trash.
Or trash. Well, I don't think they're trash. I don't think anyone would agree they're trash.
Mm.
And this will be our final decision.
I obviously think everyone loves them. No, they should not. What a ridiculous claim. I guess you're another person who hasn't ever been in one.
Of course.
Right. Anyway.
So
Anyway.
it looks like
Okay,
it's
everyone
one.
thinks they're amazing.
I
So
think it's great though. So it's kind of split.
Yeah, but the general
Amazing,
vibe is they're
amazing,
better
amazing.
than I think they are.
I think most people have said they're great. So I think they moved down
Yeah.
to great.
Yeah, move it down to
No, it's just the same people saying it over and over again.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Alison, you saying it multiple times doesn't make your vote any more significant. So anyway, right. So I think
Yeah.
most people have said great. So we'll move it to great.
Two
So
tiers above the train that is identical.
so we are now. So we're now done.
I have one question for you, KB.
Yes,
Why do you think that Heathrow Express is not an airport service?
I do. I never said it wasn't.
But you said that you wouldn't tell you were going to an airport.
No,
He means the train. That's what.
I was talking about the 379 and the
379. Sorry.
I said compared to a 332 where you feel like you are going to an airport, it's got that actual airport vibe about it. But the 379 and the 360 don't have that, and 387, none of them have that. I said the 332 has. I know, but what I'm saying is it has the facilities and the features there, like that you would normally expect on a shuttle service like that. Like it's got BBC News, it's got TV, it's got newspapers, it's got magazines, it's got all these different things that you would expect on a shuttle train, a proper good shuttle train. So that's why I put them in. That's why I think they were great. I also think they look great and they're very modern. So yes.
Why aren't they in great tier if they're great?
Well, they are in great tier.
Well, they are in great tier.
379s aren't.
Well, because they're not. Because I don't think they are. Well, that's because the majority vote went to good. So
Yeah.
we're not going to argue it now. We all agreed. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone.
Everyone says move the 373 up.
Are you going to give me credit for the photos? Otherwise, I have to copyright strike you.
Yes.
Move the 373
Credit Super Alps for the photos he took. So there's some very, very good photos in there. And
You should make it a criminal offence not to have an air.
But anyway, can I just say, right, so we're going to do one of these tier lists again. We were going to do it with locos, but there's not a lot of passenger service locos out there. So we're probably going to skip that one. So the next one that we'll do will be to do with the train operating companies themselves. So
I'm joining that one.
So we'll be doing that next time. That'll probably be next week sometime. So thanks for watching tonight's video to do with the EMUs. Again, it took ages because there's so many to go through. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll all see you soon. Goodbye.